Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast live. Yes. So I got some things I definitely wanted to talk about tonight, so I figured I'll hop on here and I'll do a live show and really get my thoughts out, and also hopefully give an opportunity for whoever pops in to listen to the show and call in if they want to. But before we do that, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. What's going on, everybody? So thanks for popping in. Sneed, what's up, my man? Been looking out for you. Haven't seen you in the last few lives, but good to see you back in the chat, man. So if you're coming in, please, as I just mentioned in my little blurb there, make sure you're hitting that like button. It really helps us out a lot. And make sure you hit that share too. Share it out to other people you know that love sports talk and might want to hop in and add something to the chat or hear what I got to say. But you know what? Let's go ahead and let's get right to it, man. Y'all know me already, man. I can't do a show and not get some NFL, man. It must happen. It must happen because things keep happening in the NFL. NFL is king. I keep saying it. And El Boogie, I see your messages, man. And I definitely I picked up what is it, the Xbox Series X, and I found out you could play cross platform. So you know, you and I are definitely going to get it in on that college football when it comes out, brother. So I can't wait for that. All right. So on the NFL side, Justin Jefferson is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he is now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And man, I tell you what, it's amazing how in all these sports with these TV deals, how the salaries just keep on rising. That's crazy, man. Um, so he just signed, I think yesterday, he signed a 4-year, $140 million contract. Now that said, we know in the NFL that total number that you often hear is not generally the amount of money that the players are going to get paid. So the key, and I think I've said this before, but the key when you're looking at NFL contracts is always you have to pay attention to fully guaranteed dollars, right? That's the amount of money guaranteed at signing that an owner has to put into escrow when you sign your deal to make sure that the money is there. And so the real fully guaranteed money that you know you're going to get every single cent of is what is it 4 years at 88,743,000, and he has total guarantees of $110 million. So still that's some pretty good dough that he's gonna come down with, right? So at the end of the day, regardless, he is going to be he is now the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of football, and he deserves it, man. He's getting a signing bonus of $36 million, 938,000. So let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the stuff that this guy does, man. Justin Jefferson is special. He's elite on the outside. He's elite if you put him in the slot. He can high point the ball, as we just saw there. He's a guy that can run everything on the route tree. Um, look, there's the seam right there, right down the middle. He's able to run after the catch. And what I think is a really good situation here for him being Justin Jefferson, is that he is going to be an elite weapon for a young quarterback, whether it's JJ McCarthy, when he gets in there and he starts getting significant reps. If he's any good, he's got an elite weapon to throw to on one side, and then he's got former Biletnikoff Award winner, former Pitt Panther, and former USC Trojan. Shout out my main man El Boogie, uh, um, Jordan Addison. And Jordan Addison, he showed last year while Justin Jefferson was injured that he's another guy that's going to be a problem in this league. So this is a really good situation for JJ McCarthy and for the Minnesota Vikings. And I think part of the reason they were able to do this is because they don't have any big money tied up in quarterback, right? And again, the receiver on the other side, Jordan Addison, he's young. I think he's going to be in his second year this year, and so he's still on a rookie deal. So that's good, right? Um, so now you look at Justin Jefferson, and since he's been in the league, he's been in the league 4 years now. He just got his new deal. He's one of very few players in the league to have 4 straight 90 plus grades on the season from Pro Football Focus. That almost never happens. That tells you he's pretty much at the top of his position every year. That's crazy. So it's a really good move for Minnesota, being that they don't have a lot of money tied up in the quarterback. And this is what we see a lot of teams attempting to do before you get that guy. If you get a young guy at quarterback that you think might be able to do something, you try to put every possible resource around him and help him have success before you got to pay him. And hopefully you'll be in a situation maybe like the Niners with a Brock Purdy or something like that, where you can put a really good team around a young guy, he can have success, and maybe you can just hit on it and win a chip. Now the Niners haven't done that yet, but clearly you can see that that's what Minnesota's plan is. So we'll see. But here's the thing that's crazy about football: when these guys, the NFL, when these guys sign these contracts, what does that mean elsewhere in the league, right? What happens is when you have guys sign contracts in the NFL, what it does is it raises the bar generally for the next high end player that's up to sign, right? Now, a lot of times it's just like whoever's up next, if they're a really good player, they get more. But unfortunately, I don't really like that. It should be, whoever's up next and is also deserving based on what they've done and what they've produced. But a lot of times at those the higher end, like tier one and tier two players, it's just who's up next is going to get that next deal. So now what happens is this becomes interesting because Justin Jefferson just signed. So CD Lamb of the Cowboys is up next. And if the Bengals are smart, they won't wait till next season to sign Jamar Chase. They'll sign him early, because if they wait till next season, that money is just going to go up more and more, right? As the salary cap rises and the TV money keeps coming in, the where these contracts are going keeps changing it. And right now, wide receiver is that big name position for non-quarterback in terms of the big money. So if you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you're smart, you'll lock up Jamar Chase now, right? So CD Lamb, he's waiting on his deal, and now he sees where the line is based on what Justin Jefferson just got, right? And statistically, CD Lamb is very similar to Justin Jefferson, and it's crazy because he now he's waiting to get paid. So last year, CD Lamb had 135 catches, 1,749 yards, and 12 touchdowns, right? So last year, Justin Jefferson only played 12 games and he got injured. But 2 years ago, that was his best season: 128 catches, 1,809 yards, 8 touchdowns. So the numbers are extremely comparable. So CD Lamb can say, this is what Justin Jefferson got. At my best, I'm right there with him. So you either pay me more, pay me even, or I guess if he wants to, theoretically, he could take a little less, but he's probably going to say, pay me more or pay me even with Justin Jefferson. And so that's a lot of dough, man. So that's another decision that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have to make. Also, Dallas has to pay who else? Micah Parsons. And that's another issue for them, because he is also going to break the bank. When his turn comes, he will be the highest paid non-quarterback in history. That's a fact. You can bet on that one. He's young. He's also going to get that dough. He's been all pro every season in the league, 3 years in the league so far. He's been all first team all pro twice, and he's been second team all pro once. And so he's got all the credentials to say, nah, pay me. I want more than Bosa got. I want more than Jefferson got. Pay me, right? And so now you're going to be in this situation if you're Jerry Jones. So, not to let that hijack the segment, but those are just reasons why it's coming. Jerry Jones cannot pay Dak Prescott the going rate for a tier 1 or 2 quarterback. He just can't, because if he does that, he can't pay the other two guys. Now, one of my boys, we were actually discussing all this, and what he was telling me, he says if he's Jerry Jones, what he does is he trades Michael Parsons, because he knows he can get a monster haul for him. That way, you can still pay Dak, you can still pay CD Lamb, you can get a bunch of picks or players or both, and you can try to round out your roster. I don't know if I do it. I keep the young guys and get rid of the old QB, and I try to get Shadur Sanders in the draft, trade up for him. But that's me. That's me. But yeah, man, these NFL contract negotiations and signings, they're always so interesting to me because not only when Bruce Hope signs with the Baltimore Ravens, I'm just using that as an example, that would be a dream. But when Bruce Hope signs with the Baltimore Ravens and I reset the market, that directly affects other teams because it now changes those teams' salary caps and they have to figure out what they're going to do, who they can sign, who they can't sign, and that affects what happens to them on the field come Sunday. And it directly affects the opposing team's roster construction. So that's so interesting to me when you talk about the NFL and you talk about what you see and how one guy's contract affects somebody else's. So yeah, that's interesting. So that was a quick thing that I wanted to touch on in terms of the NFL. I'm open up the phone lines if anybody wants to give me a call on this topic, whether it's on the Cowboys and what they should do or Justin Jefferson and his new deal. Go ahead and do that. 904-219 is that 8264 904-219-8264. Give me a call. If not, we'll go ahead and we will talk about the Boston Celtics heading to the NBA Finals once again.